beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to A Beautiful Legacy. I'm your host, Tiago Pinto, and this is your short moment to take a look on the people who shaped how we live, shop, work, and move. In each episode, we take 10 minutes to revisit one creator and uncover the ideas, the systems, and the choices that still define our world today. For today's story, we move to the 1930s. Imagine walking into a store. Noisy signage, competing colors, packaging that looks like small advertisements, shouting at one another. Brand identity as we know it simply did not exist. Then came Raymond Loewy. French-born, New York-shaped, and relentlessly modern. Loewy believed that everything a customer touched, from a train to a typeface, from a vending machine to a cigarette pack, should speak the same visual language. Not louder, but clearer. Not decorated, but designed. Before the world had a name for brand ecosystem, he was already building them. Loewy didn't just design products, he designed coherence. And that coherence became the blueprint of modern retail. Raymond Loewy was born in 1893 in Paris, into a family that believed deeply in culture and engineering. His mother painted, his father was an engineer. The collision of art and precision shaped him from an early stage. He moved to the United States in 1919, a young war veteran arriving with a single suitcase and an ambition larger than Manhattan. New York at that time was the world's laboratory of modernity. Skyscrapers rising, cars multiplying, department stores racing for attention. Raymond Loewy saw not chaos, but opportunity. His early work as a window dresser and illustrator sharpened his ability to understand the public, how people looked, what they noticed, what they ignored. Retail became his training ground. Commerce was his canvas.
Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
By the 1930s, Loewy had developed the design language that would define his career. Streamlining, speed, elegance, continuity. He applied it to everything. Locomotives looked faster, cars looked more aerodynamic, Coca-Cola coolers looked more inviting. Even a fridge looked like an object of progress. His belief was simple. Beauty could sell, and simplicity could seduce. And nowhere did this idea matter more than in retail. Long before the term existed, Raymond Loewy understood that a brand is not a logo. A brand is an ecosystem. Product, packaging, environment, vehicles, uniforms, catalogs, and the store itself. Lucky Strike, the discipline of consistency. He redesigned the cigarette pack to look cleaner and more modern, and then insisted that every factory, truck, poster, and sales point follow the same visual rules. The same he did for Coca-Cola, the machine as a brand ambassador. His vending machines were miniature pieces of architecture, red, round, and recognizable across the street. He made the product visible even when the bottle wasn't. And then he went on to design the retail universe of Sears. Sears didn't just hire Raymond Loewy to design objects, they hired him to design order. He rethought catalogs, packaging, appliances, and store communication, so they felt connected, an early example of a unified retail brand. Raymond Loewy was building what retailers today take for granted, a world where the customer experience is a continuous, coherent story.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Raymond Loewy's philosophy became a rulebook for design through the Maya principle, most advanced yet acceptable. This means that if something was too futuristic, it frightened customers. If it was too familiar, it bored them. The sweet spot, the point where innovation meets comfort, is where products fly off the shelf. Maya is still the invisible rule behind every bottle redesign, new packaging system, store layout refresh, or seasonal update. Retailers today still use his logic, even if they don't know his name.
Legacy.
The world we inherited from Raymond Loewy. Walk into Zara, Uniqlo, or H&M, and you can see his discipline immediately. The grid is strict, typography behaves, color is rationed, and packaging follows a single visual line across categories. Fast fashion did not invent this order. Loewy did, when he proved that retail could feel modern only when every element belonged to one coherent system. Stand in front of a Coca-Cola cooler in any European supermarket, and you are looking at one of his most enduring lessons. The machine is not neutral. It is a brand statement, a piece of equipment designed to speak the same language as the bottle, the truck, the poster, the shelf. That idea that even industrial objects must become ambassadors began with Loewy's first Coca-Cola dispensers. Moving to the automotive industry, if you visit a Mercedes, BMW, or Audi dealership, you'll see his influence becoming architectural. The facade, the grid lighting, the palette, the materials, the proportions of glass and metal, all of it feels like an enlarged version of a brand's product philosophy. Raymond Loewy was the first to insist that a brand's world must extend into the building itself, not stop at the logo on the door. Look at the private label shelves of Tesco, Carrefour, or Rewe, and you're watching his systemic thinking at work. Products do not shout individually. They read as families. Color hierarchies guide the eye. Typography unifies disparate categories. And packaging behaves like a clear, disciplined language. This was Raymond Loewy's revolution, replacing clutter with coherence so shoppers navigate by trust, not by accident. Even an espresso machine or a Starbucks counter carries his legacy. Equipment isn't functional decor. It is a branded tool designed to project identity as strongly as the product it serves. From his Shell petrol pumps to his Lucky Strike displays, Loewy made it clear that the objects around the brand must communicate as powerfully as the brand itself. These are not coincidences. or convergences. They are the consequences of a single conviction he introduced to the world, that a brand is not an object, it is a world. Raymond Loewy designed more than objects. He designed how brands behave. He unified the visual world long before anyone asked for it. And that unity is still shaping how we shop, how we choose, and how we trust. Raymond Loewy was the first designer of everything, and that, truly, is a beautiful legacy.
Beautiful legacy.
You've been listening to A Beautiful Legacy, a short moment of clarity in a world built by remarkable minds. If it inspired you, follow the show and join me again on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Until then, keep noticing the beauty people leave behind.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were. In the shape of a chair in